hello. Hello, hello. Back again. Back again. Here at the usual. WCW, WWF, 1992, new generation. Here we go. Spent a lot of time rendering videos recently. I didn't realise how long some of these streams are. Because sometimes when I get to about the 1 hour mark, hour and a half, I'm like, alright, that's the typical stream, that's the usual. Some of these are like 2.5 to 3 hours, so I can feel slightly less bad about this. That being said, right off the bat, just want to let everyone know that I have a mouth ulcer just under my tongue. Nothing major. No, it isn't going to affect anything. My speech might be a smidge impaired, but I always sound a little dumb anyway. That's not necessarily a problem. Just go a little bit more in depth into the mouth ulcer. It's just under my tongue, so every time I speak, it rubs against my teeth and it hurts. So I did think about just not streaming. I thought about just giving it a miss for the week and then just picking it back up next week when the ulcer's healed. That's all it takes, like just a week. Boom, gone. A week of healthy eating, because I feel like that is what you need. But instead, here we are, doing this. Thought I couldn't give it a miss. We have WCW Wrestle War tonight. That'll be the name of the episode when it goes up. I did quickly just see that the Freebirds are with Precious. So I was like, who the fuck's Precious? So I googled them. Canada manager, married to Jimmy Garvin. Happy with that? So let's have them under a handshake. How much are they per show? 50 per show, yeah. 1 year? Be whatever's needed. No ironclad. Yeah, nice. So they won't be here for this show, but it'll be fine. Let's just try and sort out Thomas Rich. I am willing to give you. Do we have a better picture for you, Thomas Rich? If I just search Rich, is he under Tommy or Thomas? Tommy. See, that's a better one. And you're with Terry Runnels. That's fine. Terry Runnels, when do you leave? So you're here, you're pretty much gone. You left in 91. But you're here until, well, you go to the WWF in 96. That's fine. We can handle that. Yeah, so Thomas Rich, let's give you a bonus of, we're doing quite well for ourselves with WCW, so let's give you 5k. Nice. Z-Man, might as well give you a bonus. Rip Rogers, you can just go, to be honest. Where is it? His biggest win was at Battle Ball in 93, where he teamed with Hawk to defeat Davey Boy and Cole. Not much, to be honest. He finally settled in OVW in 97. According to 2011, according to a 2011 story, he was hit by a car, which meant he had to retire. So instead he trained John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Batista, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, Mark Henry, and The Miz. Fair play to him. I just have no use for you, so you can just leave at any point, Rip Rogers. Who else? Ole Anderson. We can just give you a bonus. Italian Stallion, again, I just don't really care. How do you feel like 2K? Nice. Big Josh. When does Matt Bourne leave? So summer of 92, then he debuts September 92. So he might, oh, he's out with a herniated spinal disc. How long? Well, he's out injured for life anyway. That's fine. If we just release you, are we going to have an issue? It'll cost, but if he's on the payroll anyway, I don't care. Tully Blanchard has some issues. Let's give you 5k and you should be happy. You're not. Let's give you 10k and you should be happy. What? How much is your contract? 28. One last chance. I'm going to give you 15. Nice. It's got your Flamingo has some minor issues. Let me give you 2k. Nice. Grizzly Smith. How much are you on? 3,200. Give you 4k. Still annoyed. Nice. Give you one last thing of 4k. There we go. And that looks good. What do our finances look like? Oh shit, we've been losing money. I didn't realise that. Is it because we haven't held a pay-per-view and made $1 million? That's fair. We are paying more and more for workers as time goes on. Right, doesn't look like too much more is going to happen at Wrestle War. So let's move over to the WWF. Steven Regal and Steve Dull got in an argument. Incident with Ray Trailer, hard drug user, it's fine him. It's very unhappy. Bruce Hart thinks Freddie Blassie's clumsy. Fuck off. So we have Wrestling Challenge. I think Wrestling Challenge is our auto booked show, so that's fine. Shawn Michaels, big morale issues. What's the problem? Just annoyed at constant incidents involving him. How much are you getting? You're getting 15,000. So what if I give you 25? There we go. Just can't risk having you go. Randy Savage, you're at 110. If I give you 100k. Happy, nice. Bossman, you're on 23. So if I give you 25. Have just spent bare money. Got 140, Jesus. If I give you 50. If I give you another 50. If I give you one final 50. Nah, I've had enough of you then. Just really doesn't like Kamala. Everything else looks fine. How does our finance look? Oh, we're still making bare money, so that's fine. We even made a bunch of money without a pay-per-view. Made a lot of merchandise. Merchandise alone almost pays for our full worker costs. That's fine. Let's continue. Falling to medium shouldn't really affect us. So WCW main event, we don't really have. Where should we be? Where would be best? 27, 29. We could stand to be in the Mid-South, to be fair. Locker room incidents. Sure, come on in. Yeah, let's talk details, whatever. Lance, you can come in. Sean Simpson, yeah, why not? Jimmy Garvin has been passing on tips to Van Hammer. Michael Hayes won a video game tournament. Bagwell did some funny impressions. Ann Anderson ran some drills. let's just, because we don't, I've checked main event, we don't have the results for it, so I'm just going to auto book the next couple of shows until the 14th of June. So let's book whole show. We don't need Chono and Hashimoto on this one. Nice, stick that here, that's fine. Change this to a WCW main event opening. Hype pre-taped video. Where else could Dusty Rhodes be working? Oh, it's Dusty, Benoit. Right. Right. Well, we'll figure it out when we get to Wrestle War. Van Hammer against Rip Rogers. Let's stick Van Hammer over. 4 minutes should be fine. Interview with Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin. So, Michael Hayes cutting a promo on Ann and Bobby. So, Lionheart and Lost Cowboys, they can take on faces Flash, News, and Bossman. Let's stick Lionheart over. Interview Michael Hayes. Interview with Art Anderson. Bobby Eaton. So instead of Michael Hayes, we can stick him off screen. Anderson cutting a promo with Bobby on Jimmy Garvin and the Steiners. Nice. Buddy Rose against Hashimoto, maybe not. Let's have a 2v2. We can have teams, the Hardcore Outlaws. Nice. Taking on face, males. Gigante and Caruso. Stick Cactus Jack over always. Interview with Brian Pillman is fine. Stick Jushin off screen. Who's he wrestling at Wrestle War? Tom Zenk. So who do we have instead? We check storylines. Appa. Right. Jushin, Appa, and Johnny B. Bad. So Steve Armstrong against Chono. Instead, let's have, what is Masahiro Chono? Face. Face, men's. Let's stick Koloff over Bob Cook. Nikita goes over. Interview with Tully. Who's kind of Tully aligned with? What's going on with Tully? Interview with Tully. Murdoch. Garvin and Cactus. So Tully Blanchard, Dick Murdoch. Is it Buddy Rose? Yeah. Is it, no, it's not Jimmy. Ronnie Garvin and Cactus Jack. Then Terry Taylor against Buddy Landell. Instead, let's have Buddy Landell against Paul Perez. Let's stick Landell over. Then interview Ron Simmons, that's fine. On Sting. Cactus and Vader. Nice. So 55 minutes, 67%. No booking analysis, that's fine. It's got the main event opening. Van Hammer defeated Rip Rogers in 2:43. Interview with Hayes and Garvin. Lionheart and Lost Cowboys defeated Adam Flash, PN News and Bossman when Lionheart submitted Flash with the Line Tamer. Interview with Arn and Bobby. The Hardcore Outlaws defeated Gigante and Caruso when Jack submitted Gigante. Interview with Pillman. Koloff defeated Bob Cook in 40 seconds with a Russian sickle. Tully, Murdoch, and Cactus and Garvin. Tully, Murdoch, Garvin, Buddy Rose, and Cactus all cut a promo together. Buddy Landell defeated Paul Perez with a figure 4, and we got an interview with Ron. And now we should be on Wrestle War 92. So if we do Automatic Selection, pay-per-view, commercial terrestrial, pay-per-view, commercial cable. So big, across America, England, Canada. That's all, yeah. That's fine. Use this selection. We don't need a booking team meeting. Eric Bischoff and Harley Race had some positive interactions. The Italian Stallion and Flamingo got into an argument. Oh, that's all. Alright, Wrestle War 92. Let's go top down. So first off, in the end, we have a War Games match. Can we do a War Games match is the main thing. You'd think it'd be programmed with it being a 92 mod. War Games, here we go. So we have Sting, Nikita, Ricky Steamboat, Dustin and Barry Windham against Rick Rude, Steve Austin, Bobby, and Larry. That's fine with me. I have a man trying to clean around. Give me a second. Oh. Do you want me to move this at all? Oh, perfect. Champion. Thank you very much. I just had a man cleaning my windowsills. So I was like, Jamie, to move me washing. He was like, no, it's fine. Against Rude, Austin, Eaton, and Nabisco. Nice. Anyone injured? Ann Anderson's injured with a fractured cheekbone. Oh. Should we have... We're going to stick Tully in for him instead. I think so. I think we'll stick Tully in for him instead. Yeah, that's fine. How long? So finally Nikita saves for the faces and the match beyond begins. Koloff viciously rams Arn into the cage and does the mega power handshake with Sting once and for all. They team up to beat on the Enforcers and resolve their differences like men. The crowd goes crazy for this, and Sting hits Arn with the Stinger Splash to set up the Scorpion, but Bobby makes the save. Finally, the turnbuckle gets off and Dustin puts Larry in the figure 4, but Rude makes the save. Dustin goes up and misses an elbow and the Alliance team up on Sting. But Larry misses and hits Eaton in the shoulder, allowing Sting to finish Eaton with the armbar in 23-25. One of the best matches of the 90s and probably one of the best WCW matches of all time. So who goes over? Sting, obviously. So Sting, storytelling. We just, in the end, the team, the Stingers, celebrate as Dangerous Alliance got what was coming to them. Every time. 4 minutes. Sting. I'm tempted to just watch this match later today. Sting, Nikita, Ricky Steamboat, Dustin, Barry Windham, Rick Rude, Steve Austin. Let's add Tully to this. Bobby and Larry. Paul E. Medusa and Tully. We can just add Tully to the Dangerous Alliance. I don't think it matters that much. Oh, I forgot about Janine Clark. Tully. Nice. And straight after this, Bill Watts comes in. So next up is the Steiner brothers against Tatsumi Fujinami and Takayuki Iizuka. Hot tag to Rick and he bulldozes poor Takayuki and hits him with an overhead suplex, then takes him to the top with another overhead suplex to finish at 18-15. Apparently, the Steiners took absolute liberties with the team. The New Japan team kept coming back, taking more from them, and it was never boring. Happy with that. Do we have the Steiners is the main thing. We do. They can take on Chono and Hashimoto. For the WCW World Tag Team. Let's stick Scott Steiner over. Could they steal the show? They can probably steal the show. Nice. So just before that, we can have a WCW War Games rundown. 3 minutes should do. Let's just have Dustin, Polly, Rude, Steamboat, Sting, Windham, Spisco, Medusa, Nikita. Let's have Tully and Eaton. I don't think anyone else is explicitly involved. Nice. For that, we have Brian Pillman against Tom Zenk. They trade leapfrogs and collide in midair for the double down, but Zenk face plants him for 2. Zeng collapses off an Irish whip and claims a knee injury, so Pillman goes up and Zeng super kicks him on the way down for 2. So now Zeng puts the boots to him and goes to the top himself, but the missile dropkick misses and Pillman rolls him up in 15:33. Nice. We have Pillman against Artbar. 10-minute, happy with me. WCW light heavyweight. Pillman. Let's make this a high spots match. Nice. So before that, we have Big Josh against Richard Morton. For no reason, don't have to do that match. Super Invader against Todd Champion. Instead of Super Invader, I'm happy to have a 1-on-2 with Scott Norton, who isn't here. So we don't have to do that match at all. Before that, so it's Junkyard Dog and Ron Simmons against Cactus Jack and Mr. Hughes. The angle to set this up was Abdullah and Jack attacking Simmons. Jack attacks Junkyard Dog during the entrance with an elbow drop up the ramp. So Dog gets carried out by officials. So Simmons decides to go it alone and attacks both heels, with the ref telling Cactus to stay out of the ring. With Simmons then winning in 5:40. We could just have a random Ron Simmons match. He can beat heel, male. Greg Valentine could probably do with a loss. Oh no, he's losing tonight. He can beat Jim Neidhart. Why not? Where's Jim? Or is Jim a face? Never have him beat Orndorff then. 10 minutes. Ron Simmons. That's fine with me. So we have the Tracy Smothers Johnny B. Bad match, especially since Bad is feuding with Scotty Flamingo. Bad punches him out and gets a win in 7 minutes. So where's Johnny B. Bad? He can take on face, male. Jim Neidhart should be fine, honestly. If it's a nothing match. Let's have Johnny B. Bad. At ringside, we can do Scotty Flamingo and Lionheart. I don't know if these are in a feud, but you'll get them there. I think they're all 12 minutes. Let's make this one a little longer. And then Greg Valentine and Terry Taylor against the fabulous Freebirds. Hayes slugs Taylor down and makes the hot tag to Garvin, who rolls up Taylor for 2. The champs double team Garvin and Valentine trips him up from the floor, but Hayes makes the save. Garvin DDTs Taylor and gets the pin and the titles at 16 minutes, while Hayes holds off Valentine. Hayes was pretty much done after this, and the Birds dropped the titles to the twosome of Dick Slater and the Barbarian a couple of weeks later. And that was it for the belts. They were thankfully forgotten and retired. A complete snoozer of an opener, although Dave noted in The Observer that it would have been awesome in 1983. Hayes in particular looked awful and blown up super early. Fair. It's 2v2. Freebirds against who I think are face. Greg Valentine, Terry Taylor. So can I turn Michael Hayes? Nice. What about Jimmy Garvin? Nice. So WCW United States Tag Team, stick Michael Hayes over. I do need an angle beforehand. The Freebirds tell WCW they are coming for the United States Tag Team, and then want to hold the World Tag Team. Hold the World is fine. So I have Jimmy Garvin cutting a promo with Michael Hayes on Greg Valentine, Terry Taylor. Who else is there? It's Scott and Rick Steiner. Road agent notes. Let's turn Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin. Nice. Backstage. So we have a WCW Wrestle 192 opening. So hype, pre-taped video. Just all the main men. Nice. So we can have, meanwhile, the Freebirds and Precious. Apparently, Precious has never been on TV and is never seen again after this. So that's fine. Meanwhile, the Freebirds and Precious celebrate their title win. We don't need them meanwhile. Let's just have Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes. 3 minutes should do. Any other angles that I've missed? Not really. This seems to have all of them cut out. Is there a different Wrestle War 92 review? So we have a recap of JYD appearing to help Ron Simmons. That's really it, to be fair. There doesn't seem to be any angles reported, which is fine. Sting talks about trusting Nikita in the War Games cage. We can have Tony Schiavone as the interviewer with Sting. Cutting a promo on Big Van and Nikita. I wouldn't mind having a 1v1 of Vader taking on Face. He can take on Bagwell. The Steiners say they're coming for the IWGP Tag Team titles. Let's just have Scott Steiner cut a promo with Rick Steiner on Arn and Eaton since they're just in a storyline. Nice. So we can put that there. I have an angle. Vader beats down Bagwell with race. Sting comes out, but thinks the better of it with the main event coming up. So Ivan has to save. Nice, so we have Big Van, Harley, Sting, and Ivan. A little bit of storyline there. Sting is like, I've got the main event, but I want to help Bagwell. So we just need something here. My mouth is killing me. I didn't realise talking would be this much trouble. Just to get Lance Van Erich on the card, because I feel bad that we just haven't used him. Where is he? There he is. He can lose to King Kalua. Nice. The Dangerous Alliance talk about breaking Sting. Nice. That's fine. There we go. Again, I apologise for the if my talking sounds a little off, or if I'm not talking as much. Ulcer's killing me. Sweet, so I think all looks good here to me, to be honest. 78% would not be penalised. Every match is included, so we can run this. Also, I don't know if anyone's realised, but as of the last video that went live now, the Saturday Night's Main Event 31, the videos are now in 60 FPS. Nice. So, pre-show bout, Kalua defeated Lance Von Erich in 9:31 with a powerbomb. And now we started Wrestle War 1992 opening, 77 to 15,000 people in the Mid-South. The Freebirds tell WCW they're coming for the United States Tag Team and then want the World Tag Team titles. Are you sure you wish to continue? No. Turn. Complete success. Turn. Ugh, bloody hell. That's fine. So in the opening match, in a decent match, the Freebirds defeated Valentine and Taylor when Hayes pinned Terry Taylor to win the WCW United States Tag Team titles. The Freebirds and Precious celebrate their title victory. In a decent match, Johnny B. Bad defeated Jim Neidhart in 9:46 by pinfall with a Wild Thing. Sting talks about trusting Nikita in the War Games cage. Ron Simmons defeated Paul Orndorff in 11:13 by pinfall with a Spine Buster. The Dangerous Alliance talk about breaking Sting tonight. In a decent match, Pillman defeated Art Barr in 10:03 by pinfall with an Air Pillman. Pillman makes defense number 3 of the light heavyweight title. The Steiners say they're coming for the IWGP Tag Team titles. Vader defeated Bagwell in 9:53 by pinfall with a Vader Bomb. Look at that wrestling rating. Very happy with that. Vader beats down Bagwell with Race, and Sting comes out but thinks the better of it with the main event coming up, so Ivan has to make the save. Why is the crowd rating so low when the crowd very hot? In a bout which had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, the Steiners defeated Chono and Hashimoto when Scott defeated Hashimoto with a Steinalizer. The Steiner brothers make defense number 1 at the World Tag Team titles. We got a War Games rundown, and in the main event, which did very well to be fair, I thought both wrestling and crowd rating would be a lot higher. And the bout which had great heat and good wrestling. Sting, Nikita, Ricky Steamboat, Dustin Rhodes, and Barry Windham defeated the Dangerous Alliance of Rick Rude, Austin, Eaton, Tully, and Zbyszko in a War Games match in 22:33 when Sting submitted Zbyszko with a Scorpion Deathlock. The best wrestler in that being a lovely 84 from Rick Rude. The worst looking like it's Nikita actually with a 61. Followed on 62 by Tully and Eaton. Dustin only getting a 64. Steamboat with a nice 83. The Stingers celebrates the Dangerous Alliance got what was coming to them. 79, popularity in 20 regions. Very happy. Address the locker room. We have to praise Rick Rude, Sting, and Ricky Steamboat. Rick Rude seemed pleased. Sting seemed pleased. Ricky seemed pleased. Made 2.5 million from that, so very happy. That should help. Popularity raised back up all throughout America. Media. You recently made the signing of Wellington Wilkins Jr. What plans do you have for him? Have to work his way up the ladder. There's no free wides in WCW. You retired Billy Andel. How do you see him? Once again. What is that Arn Anderson has become a mentor to Eddie Guerrero? It's a good combination in your eyes. Arn Anderson will be a great mentor. Any comments on the upcoming retirement of Johnny Saint? We're going to give him a big send-off. Grizzly Smith and Jake Roberts hate each other. Are you worried about this affecting the locker room? I like a little tension. Keeps everyone sharp. Ugh. How concerned are you by the off night Nikita had? Do you consider him too unreliable to trust? I have faith he'll become more consistent. Nice. Action Jackson, yes sir. And now we have Wrestling Challenge. No one gets the night off. Where are we? Where are we? What's the date? 17th of May. So we're in Sunday, so we're still in the Mid-Atlantic. Locker room incidents. Skinner created a fun atmosphere when he pulled a rib on Tito. Kevin Von Erich doesn't like Owen Hart trying to involve him. Same with Hillbilly Jim. Skinner ran some drills for Jerry Gray. Nails and Duggan had to be separated. At one point, I'm going to do my way or the highway and not care. An average locker room. If we check, is it Inner Circle? Yeah. Morale officer. Exclude ill-suited candidates. Maybe Tony Gurria would be the best one. Ugh, everyone's irritated. That's fine. So Bobby Heenan does go, I think. I don't think Gorilla Monsoon does, but he's not here. Most of these people do leave the company. So I think we can do Tony. Everyone here fine? Yeah. Alright, Wrestling Challenge, that's just auto book. I just felt bad that Owen was getting all the rep. When he was doing nothing wrong. I seemed too young for that role. God, really? Are those the only matches they want to give me? Alright, let me add a few of my own. So we have 1, 2, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. We can squeeze 4 matches in. Let's have Victor and Danko taking on heels, Wits and Tab. Let's stick Victor Barishnikov over. We can do a 1-on-1. Let's have Bully Busick taking on face Brian Adams. Big Bully going over. Nice. We can squeeze in a 3v3. Let's have Kenny Kendall and faces Marty and Owen. Taking on heels, let's do Repo, Skinner and Ronnie D. Stick Kenny Kendall over since Crush wins the IC title soon enough. And one more match. Let's have a 1v1. Anyone down here? No. Instead, let's have recognizable. Let's stick Dynamite over face Tom Davis. Nice little Dynamite win. Put that here. Perfect. So Wrestling Challenge. Oh, that seemed quite loud. Sorry if this was too loud throughout the full thing. That seems a lot better. Hopefully that wasn't just drowning me out for the full stream. That's fine. I think I figured out a way to split the audio channels anyway, so I should be able to turn it down in post. Fingers crossed. Wrestling Challenge opening. Oh, I forgot Piper's away now. Lost both Hogan and Piper. Well known. Let's add Shawn Michaels and the Bulldog. It can be unscripted. Interview with IRS and Ted DiBiase. Ted cutting a promo on, I guess, still Typhoon and Earthquake. There's been no new really tag title feud. Interview with Sid and Freddie Blassie. Freddie Blassie cutting a promo. Sid cutting a promo on the Ultimate Warrior. Interview with the British Bulldog. Fine with that. Who's he kind of involved in? We can end this storyline now. Let's put him in the IC title one. So he can cut a promo on Shawn and Brett. Interview with the Mountie. Who's he feuding with again? Sergeant Slaughter. Off screen. What else do we have? The Warlord against Jimmy Snuka. Instead, we can have heel men. Shawn Michaels still injured? He is. Let's stick him in a match for 1 minute. Oh, now we need more time. Add a minute to that. Let's have Duggan lose to heel male IRS. Try and get him up the card a little bit. It's perfect. Video featuring Tatanka, that's fine. Rick Martel can also be subject to video. Interview with Cyclone Slaughter. He can cut that on the Mountie. Nice. Is the analysis just that Sean's wrestling? That's fine. 60%, so would not be penalised. Let's go. WWF Wrestling Challenge opening. Danko and Brishnikov defeated Witz and Tab when Victor submitted Bill Tab. We got an interview with IRS and Ted DiBiase. Busick defeated Brian Adams in 212 with a stump puller. Interview with Sid and Freddie on the Ultimate Warrior. Kenny Kendall and High Energy defeated Skinner, Repo and Ronnie D when Kendall submitted Repo. Interview with Bulldog. Dynamite defeated Tom Davis with a headbutt. Interview with the Mountie. Sean defeated Snooker in 33 seconds with a Sweet Chin Music. IRS defeated Duggan in 804 with a stock market crash. And we got an interview with Slaughter. Which, at the end of that, actually did quite well. There were times when it did really well. Ah, we lost $7,000, that's fine. Oh. I'm tempted now to maybe postpone the stream in the afternoon with this being a day off, given how my mouth is, but we shall see. WCW, what's the crack? Wrestle War was excellent. We struck gold with it. Happy with that. Best of the Super Juniors Night 1 was on, that'd be why. There's Dusty losing with Scott Norton. Who else did we try and book? There's Chris Benoit. But I think he might already be on the roster, to be fair. Rambo. Is that Ludwig Borger? No. Who's Rambo then? It's not too cold, is it? He's Flying Scorpion. Brad? No. Luke Portier? I guess he is Rambo, fair enough. Never doubt El Dandy. Solid show all round. Everything looks pretty fine. So Dusty thinks Art Bar is too clumsy. Dustin thinks Art Bar is too clumsy. Nikita thinks Gino doesn't connect with the fans. Oli doesn't like King Kalua. And Steve Austin also thinks Art Bar is clumsy. Got a total of 722,000 viewers. 1.42, so 700,000 buys. Not bad. Not bad at all. Hopefully that helps our finances a little more. Okay. Let's continue. Keith Hart thinks Dynamite's too clumsy. You're probably right, to be fair. Instant horror, card drug user. Let's find him. He's very unhappy. And so many... It's just a constant cycle of people being unhappy. How much are you on? 6,000. Now you're happy. Repo, you constantly have issues. When does Barry Darslaw leave? He doesn't look too bad for 65, to be fair. 94, he signed with WCW as Blacktop Bully. Did nothing on the independent circuit, then returned to WCW in 97 as Darslaw. Teaming with John Nord. Then just wrestles on the indies. He retired from wrestling in 2017. Oh, he was part of the class action lawsuit. I'd wondered why he wasn't back. So how long do we have with him? Repo Man. His final recorded match would be March 28, 93. Bloody hell. Should we just bring... Who was the other member of Demolition? Bill Eadie. He doesn't want to work for me. Why don't you want to work for me? Demolition. He and Smash worked together for 16 years. Oh, here we go. In June 1990, Demolition was expanded to a stable with the addition of Brian Adams, who wrestled as BA before adopting the name Crush. The trio concept was precipitated by a mutual decision to phase out the Axe character and have Edie take a backstage role. Popular rumour at the time cited heart problems on Edie's part, which had been discredited in recent years. An allergic reaction to shellfish while in Japan after WrestleMania 6 was the real cause of the temporary heart problem. Edie confirmed in a shoot interview in 2007. Before Edie was medically cleared, Crush has been recruited as temporary replacement. Demolition's third reign as champions ended at SummerSlam 1990. Edie's new position fell through, and his final appearance at Survivor Series 1990 marked the last time he and Smash would work together for 16 years. Can we change our relationship? Vince McMahon, Bill. Open hostility, Howie. What about just like a dislike? Strong dislike. Ugh, if I just change it to none. Billy, Vince McMahon, none. There we go, now you'll come in. Well, just a handshake per show, no ironclad, in fact just a written. Per month. 1 year. Since you're leaving this time next year, no ironclad? Ironclad. Everything except house shows. Nice. So I'm going to change Repo Man to... I'm just going to bring Demolition back, if I'm honest. That's kind of a cool Smash picture. So Barry Darsow, if I search him, it does just come off as himself. That's fine. Smash, honestly, I think I'm happy with this one. Which one is it? That looks a little better, actually. So Primetime Wrestling. What is it? May 18, 1992. What the world's watching. So Smash, I am happy to actually, now that you are this, give you another bonus. Perfect. So what's going on Primetime Wrestling? This is another Primetime Wrestling episode where the surviving footage does not feature panel discussions. A replay of the Bushwhackers Beverly's match from WrestleMania Challenge airs, along with the Legion of Doom running after the bout. Bulldog Squash is shown. Lord Alfred Hayes, a special report with Sergeant Slaughter Mountie Angle. So no one gets the night off. We are in the Great Lakes. Incidents. Moondog Rex, you can hang out, so can you, Ripper Manson. I don't see an issue with saying yes. Maybe if there was someone that the person doesn't like. Earthquake's fun to be around. So Lord Alfred Hayes' special report recaps the Slaughter Mountie Angle. Sergeant and the Mountie. 3 minutes should do. You can have a WWF Primetime Wrestling opening. Oh, I'm quite cold today. The weather's reasonably nice as well, but like it's 13 degrees, which is fine for here. But for some reason I'm just freezing. Nope. I feel like Andre is never going to be happy. Bulldog and Sean. I probably ask this every stream. No, I'm just making it improvised. But when is Sean back? Another 6 days. That's not too bad at all. Tatanga squashes Sean. Colonel Mustafa gets a win. Mustafa is a tired act at this point, no longer fitting in the world's geopolitical landscape nor the changing age of the company roster. This would be Mustafa's last televised appearance until he returned as the Iron Sheik for the Gimmick Battle Royale at X7. So instead, let's have... well, they're not scheduled for FLMP shows. That's fine. We can have Busick get a win over face, male, Duggan. 3 minutes should be fine, Big Bully Busick. I'm shocked he was fine with that. The Big Boss Man squash shows. Ted DiBiase Jimmy Snooker match from 1991 is shown. High Energy defeat Brooklyn Brawler and Bob Bradley. When Coco pins Bradley with a missile dropkick at 4:23. Let's have, where are they? High Energy. They can beat Heels, Jerry Gray and Mike Anthony. 6 minutes should be fine. Always happy to put Owen over. The WWF hypes its next Coliseum Video Crunch Classics. The Ultimate Warrior match with Brian Knobbs and Superstars airs, along with the post-match silliness of Papa Shango putting a spell on Warrior and Warrior vomiting on medical officials. We can stick that in. Who is his match with IRS? Oh, Ted DiBiase. DiBiase airs along with the post-match, along with Papa Shango putting a spell on Warrior and Warrior vomiting. That's fine. So we can have Ted, the Ultimate, and Shango. 3 minutes should be fine. El Matador's match against Kato in 1991 airs. Gene Oakland's interview with Randy Savage from Wrestling Challenge is shown. So we have Gene as the interviewer and Randy Savage cutting a promo on Flair. Bret Hart's squash from Wrestling Challenge is shown. Kamala's squash is shown. Repo's squash is shown. Believe it or not, this primetime episode was even worse than the previous weeks. While the studio banter is missing, it's tough to see how that could have improved a telecast that once again recycled 2 matches from 1981. The WWF is in a definite funk right now, creative and financially, and desperately needs to shake things up. Fair. Let's have Kamala take on Tom Davis. Kamala going over. We can have a WWF SummerSlam ad. I'd love a bacon sandwich. Just a statement, just want to put that out there. Vegan one obviously. Though I'd take a meat one. That's fine, Brett. Let's have a, I don't know, 3v3 of... Who could do it here? Animal, Hawk, and Bulldog. Taking on heels, I don't know. Haku and the Nasty Boys. And let's stick the Bulldog over. Put that here. We can have a match main event it. We can have, I don't know, Randy Savage taking on heel. The Barbarian? Yeah, the Barbarian. So recap of the Undertaker Barbarian feud. So we have the Undertaker, nope. The Berserker. Who knew? I never knew how to spell Berserker until now. Mr. Fuji and Paul Bearer. Let's put that here. And have a Berserker match. Over face, male, Scott Colton. Nice, stick that here. We can do, what was that other angle? WF hypes its next Coliseum Video Crunch Classics. And just do our usual angle. I wouldn't mind sticking Vince in these because I think slowly but surely he's going to be featured a little bit more. So where is he? There he is. And where's Bulldog? Sure. Four minutes, improvised. It's a hype pre-taped video. Nice. Put that here. 15 minutes, Jesus. Let's have a 4v4. What heels do we have? IRS. The Mountie. Rick Martel and Papa Shango, Dynamite Kid. Against faces, we have Marcelo, Mancini, Spicoli, and Coco. How long do we need? 15? Jesus wept. Let's stick. Who could do going up the card a little bit? Rick Martel, probably. Nice. We can put that here and then just have a Kenny Kendall promo about crushing the competition. Nice 2 minutes there. Kenny Kendall cutting a promo. He did that on Colonel Mustafa. Nice. And we can just have him beat. He can beat Volkov. Kenny Kendall. 3 minutes here. Let's stick Kendall over. Nice. 74%, so would not be penalised. It's only a B show anyway. Let's go. So we got the primetime wrestling opening. Busick defeated Duggan in 326 with a stump puller. Lord Alfred Hayes' special report recaps the Slaughter Mountie feud. High Energy defeated Jerry Gray and Mike Anthony when Owen pinned Anthony with a missile dropkick. Ultimate Warrior's match with DiBiase airs, along with Papa Shango putting a spell on Warrior and the Warrior vomiting. I did just see that Owen Hart's getting a bit stale, so let's tweak the gimmick. Kamala defeated Tom Davis with an Air Africa. Gene Oakland's interview with Savage from Wrestling Challenge is shown. Bulldog and the Legion of Doom defeated Haku and the Nasty Boys when Bulldog pinned Haku with a power slam. We got a SummerSlam advert. Berserker defeated Scott Colton in 241 with a camel clutch. A recap of the Taker Berserker feud. The Mountie, IRS, Rick Martel and Dynamite defeated Marcelo, Mancini, Spicoli and Coco when Martel submitted Mancini with a Boston Crab. Had to calm Louis Spicoli down after the match. He was upset that Dynamite almost injured him with a botched move. Come on, Dynamite. WWF hypes its upcoming Coliseum Video Crunch Classics. Kenny Kendall defeated Volkov in 246 in what looks like the worst match of the night. The crowd is dead now for a Kenny Kendall promo. And then Savage defeated Barbarian with a flying elbow drop. 67. Not great, let's be honest. Made $9,000 though. For a B show, not too bad. Is this even playing music anymore? Oh, there it is. Just that went completely silent on me. Timing for Don Jardine. In fact, if I need to do some editing actually. Where's the Grey Dog forums? There it is, nice. There was a few people, if we edit data in Gimeta, that was suggested to have the, I think it's the Desperado trait. So that would be Abdullah, but us is retiring. What would it be under personality? Misk? There it is. Keep missing it though. Add this attribute. Nice. This is new. Who else? Ric Flair, Sting, Jerry Lawler, Tommy Rich. Ric Flair. Attribute. Desperado. Sting. Sting. I'm shocked it doesn't have Sting's drinking or drugs, because wasn't he like really into one and then got very religious? Or should he have a religious thing? Because I feel like he didn't like do certain gimmicks or matches because of his religion. I might have been making that up, to be fair. Desperado. Where's Tommy Rich? And then there's Fujiwara. And Fujinami. See, Desperado makes it seem like offensive. Attributes. Desperado. Perfect. So much more has been added to this mod since I started this, and I can't update it. Precious Face, main roster. Where is roster? The Garvinator. Your manager can be precious. Same with Michael Hayes. Nice. Let's go. But I don't think there's anything else to do. What's going on? Pay rise request from Kenny Kendall. That's fine. Instant with Spicoli. Soft drug. Stern warning. Samu wants to be called up. Tony Gree, I think's own heart is money. We have superstars in 4 days. Don Canoodle, what a name. Should we check the morning news? Back. WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main event confirmed. What could that be? I don't know. It was announced that the triple threat match involving Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns will main event Night 1. Cool. WWE Hall of Famer disappointed in Swerve Strickland. It was Booker T. Nice. What's going on here? We can just go to the next show. Cody Rhodes promises Travis Scott his receipt following Elimination Chamber fallout. And Tony Khan, AEW, and Vince McMahon references on Raw during the Cody Rhodes John Cena promo battle. During the promo segment, Cody Rhodes claims that he was chosen by the fans and asked Cena if it was the same for him. Rhodes follows up with, or was it one guy in an office who chose you who isn't even here anymore and we don't talk about him? However, it was soon followed by Cena calling out Rhodes' AEW run and Tony Khan. At the end of the promo, Cena stated that while he makes an empire for billionaires, Cody steals monies from kids, referencing Shad Khan, his son Tony Khan, and their wrestling promotion AEW. Nice. That sounds like it would probably be a fun angle. What happened on Monday Night Raw? Logan Paul calls out AJ Styles. That sounds awful. New Day against New Cats Republic. Which is Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. That's kind of cool. Gunther beat Jimmy Uso. Judgment Day against Bron Breakker and Penta. Fair. Io Sky against Rhea Ripley. Double DQ. There's a coup de grace to Penta. Madness that Penta's in WWE. Does this mean now I might be able to talk Abdullah out of retiring? Where is he? Roster. Abdullah. Talk to worker. I'd like you to reconsider. Maybe we'll try as Vince. So we got Power Howard tonight. Oh, Yokozuna has left. UWA. I think that's got nothing to do with us. Tom Brandi wants to be called up. Skinner's now muscular. Am I now Vince? Yes. Can I talk to Abdullah? Abdullah the Butcher. Oh, fair. Don't retire. Not that I need you. Not that it's going to change anything, but don't retire. Just before Superstars and WCW, I'm going to disappear very briefly and come back. And we are back. Alright. Power hour. Nice and simple one. Where are we at? 8th of March, 22nd of March. Mid-South doesn't count. 60. Oh, we'll be in the Mid-South anyway, I think. Or maybe we'd be in New England. What's the locker room incident? Paul Roma. What does Paul Roma get up to in life? Paul Roma. So in '93, Paul Roma signed with WCW and became part of the Four Horsemen. I don't know if we'll do that. I mean, to be fair, he was in WCW until '95. Sorry, no, maybe next time. Jesse Ventura has a degree of a samurai warrior. Arn Anderson ran some drills. Lionheart did a poker tournament. Joe Malenko's been passing on tips to Bart Vale. We don't need to address the locker room. Let's just auto book this whole show. Put that there. Squeeze that in. Squeeze the Dory Funk against Lionheart match in, which is madness. Don't know what song this is, but it's an absolute banger. It's from Guardians Crusade Cave of Fear. Nice. So if we do a WCW Power Hour opening. That's annoying that Vader's elsewhere tonight. So I want to do a 2v2. Let's have team the Malenko brothers taking on heels Bob Cook and Gene Lejeune. Let's stick Stinko Malenko over. Nice. Put that here. Interview Brian Pillman. That is fine. You can cut that on Bar, Jushin, and Johnny B. Bad. Oh, nice. Let's have Dory Funk take on Exclude Already Booked, George South. Honestly, that's a match that could have happened like every decade until recently. Video featuring Dangerous Alliance. So Anne, Polly, Rude, Austin, Zbyszko, Medusa, Eaton. Tully. Oh, there she is. I couldn't find her for the life of me. Nice. Buddy Rose against PN News. We can stick Rose over. Interviewing Nikita. That's fine. Stick Sting and Big Van off screen. Buddy Landell, Tommy Rich and Richard Martin. We need to retire that team, to be fair. Heel, face, heel, heel. Inactive individuals. Instead we can do Buddy Landell, Right, yeah, let's do Buddy Landell and the Freebirds. Against... In fact, that's a fine team to be against. Let's stick Landell over. Interview with Tully, that's fine. Is he in the storyline? Yeah, he can cut it on Sting. I don't know. Let's have Vinny Vegas against Adam Flash. Last angle, interview with Ron. Again, that's fine. On Big Van, off screen, and Sting. Sweet, let's run Power Hour. Got a Power Hour opening. The Malenko brothers defeated Bob Cook and Jean Lejeune when Dean pinned Jean. Interview with Pillman. Dory Funk defeated George South with a Texas Cloverleaf. Video of the Dangerous Alliance. Buddy Rose defeated PN News with a Las Vegas jackpot. Interview with Nikita. Landell and the Freebirds defeated Hughes and the Young Pistols when Landell pinned Steve Armstrong with a corkscrew elbow drop. Interview with Tully. Vegas defeated Adam Flash with a Snake Eyes and an interview with Ron. Nice, WCW Saturday night. What's going on Saturday night? 5/23/92? Yes. The hosts are Jim Ross and Dave Casper. This is the dawn of the Bill Watts era as he took over this week. Not good for us. Rick Rude and Steve Armstrong got into an argument. Nice. If that's the end of it, I'm happy with that. Saturday night opening. 3 minutes should do. We don't have Vader, which is a shame. So it's a hype pre-taped video. So the Steiners take on Richard Morton and Tracy Smothers. Flying Bulldog from Rick on Tracy, and that's all in 5:26. We're gonna have a quick Steiner squash. So the Steiners can take on heel men's Thomas Rich and Steve Armstrong. Six minutes. Stick Scott over. Nah, it's fine. So DDP joins us in the studio, and now he's free to talk again with the departure of his nemesis, Kip Allen Frey. So he's going to have his own segment down with DDP, and his first is Paul E. Dangerously. Paul assumes that DDP has a highlight reel of the Dangerous Alliance ready, but Paige instead throws to a hidden camera of dangerously paying off hookers who set up Steamboat and pretend to be his lovers. And apparently Paulie's a cheapskate. So with DDP having successfully stirred the pot, Steamboat comes out to confront Paul, but dangerously hides behind the Alliance while calling Ricky a coward. Then Steamboat dives over them and attacks dangerously, ripping off his suit while Sting's squadron comes out and brawls with them. Nice. So down with DDP with his first guest Paulie. Paul assumes that DDP has a highlight reel of the Dangerous Alliance ready. Payne instead throws to a hidden camera of dangerously paying off hookers who set off Steamboat and pretend to be his lovers. Don't need all that. Ricky Steamboat comes out for Paul. Nice. Cool. Have 5 minutes. Diamond Dallas Page. Paul E. Cutting a promo. We have Ricky Steamboat. Character development. Sting. Nikita, Dustin, and Barry. We also have Anne, Bobby, Larry, Steve. Have we done Rick Rude? Nope. Producer, Jeannie. Nice. Meanwhile, Sting talks about getting ready to face Vader after suffering a broken rib. So Sting cutting a promo on Big Van. We can have Tony Schiavone as the interviewer. Nice. So Super and Vader take on Steve Pritchard and Larry Santo. Do we have Scott Norton? We don't. What do we have instead? Instead, let's just have a 2v2 of heel males. We have Ron Garvin, Buddy Rose taking on faces, Joey Maggs and Johnny Saint. 4 minutes, let's stick Garvin over. Nice. So we get an NWA Tag Team Tournament update with Eric Bischoff and Lance Russell. They run down the various wacky international tag teams coming up at Clash, including the mysterious Puerto Rican team. Just NWA Tag Team update with Bischoff and Lance Russell. So Eric Bischoff, do we have Lance Russell? We do. And we can also do... Can we add teams? No, it just shows teams. I guess character development will do. Let's see if we can't mess this up. So off screen, Dean, character development, Teddy Guerrero's in it. So is Texano. So is Joe. So is Miguel. So is Silver King. So is Wilkins. Art Barr. Bobby Eaton in it? Maybe. I think Ivan's in it with Bagwell. Oh, I don't even know anymore. Steve Williams. And then we can also add Terry Gordy. And then the major stars are in, I think, Arn, Wyndham, Dustin, Rick Rude, Ricky Steamboat. Don't think Sting's in it. Five minutes should do. Nice. So we have Steve Williams and Terry Gordy against Terry Bronson and Joey Maggs. Quick in 6:30. Do we have them? Either I'm blind, Terry Gordy, it's Steve Williams. Yeah, do we have them as a team? Nice. No finisher, that's fine. Miracle Violence Connection, they can take on heels. Buddy Lee Parker and Rip Rogers and Paul Perez. 4 minutes should do. Quick, Steve Williams win. Nice. Update with Eric Bischoff. It's the WCW Beach Blast report coming June 20th. Steiners defend the titles against Gordy Williams plus Ricky Steamboat and Rick Rude in an Iron Man match for the US title. Sting faces Cactus Jack in a non-title Falls Count Anywhere match. So update with Eric Bischoff. I wonder if that's a show that's actually in here. So Eric cutting a promo on Terry Gordy, Steve Williams, Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, Rick Rude, Ricky Steamboat, Sting, and Cactus. Book, nice. Pre-booking. There, Beach Blast, nice. So, WCW Beach Blast 1982. So what show is the same day? The Great American Bash. Great American Bash was the next one. Took July 12th. That's fine. I just need to remember to change that if we can. We can't change events now, can we? No, not by the looks of it. Really need to remember that. That's fine. Cactus does a promo calling Sting a coward for not putting on the title on the line. So Cactus putting a promo on Sting off screen. So in this we can kind of stick Cactus as a supporting. Freebirds, I think we can stick Terry Gordy. That's fine. And Steve Williams. This I feel like can come to an end. I'm just not sure what's actually happening with this. 3 minutes. That's fine. We get Ron Simmons against the Taylor Made Man. Ron runs the heels together and cradles Taylor for a 5-minute win. Nice. So, sorry, it's just reading the next angle. Let's have Ron Simmons over heel, male, Buddy Lee Parker. 1 minute, Simmons domination. Fuck Buddy Lee Parker. Nice. Eric meets the Freebirds in a conference room while they're making prank calls at Freebird Enterprises. Take that bit off. Nice. Freebird end. That's fine with me. We can have Precious. Eric, I guess, is the interviewer, and then Michael Hayes. Jimmy Garvin cut a promo. Outside broadcast, pre-taped hype video. So then we get a 2 out of 3 falls 6-man tag. Arn, Bobby, and Zabisco taking on Nikita, Steamboat, and Dustin. Is Arn still injured? He isn't. Nice. So we can do that. 3v3. Arn, Bobby, and Larry against Nikita, Ricky, and Dustin. Not Ricky Santana, but close. Let's see. Third fall. Steamboat fights back with a neckbreaker on Bobby, and it's a hot tag to Nikita, and Arn is running away in terror. Kor slugs away in the corner and gets the shoulder block for 2, but Arn grabs Koloff and holds him for Larry to finish him off. And of course, Larry screws up again and hits Arn by mistake, and Nikita finishes with the sickle. Another great touch, as Larry could have blocked the move, but chose to duck out the way and let Arn get hit instead. Trouble within the alliance continue. Arn and Larry get into each other's personal space as we wrap up. How long was this? 26 minutes. Who was the victor? Nikita. Storytelling. Partner miscommunication from Larry. Nice. Arn and Larry get into personal space and we wrap it up. To end the show. So Arn, Larry. Who else was in that match? Was it Eaton? Yeah. Bobby Eaton. Then we have Nikita. I realised at one point in this I was talking about how good the music was, only for it to not have been playing at one point. Thank God no one was here to call me out on that. 4 minutes is fine. We can add a couple of quick matches. Let's have a 3v3 of Heels, Cactus, Murdoch, and who was in that little thing before? If we go show history. Oh, Tully, Murdoch, Rose, Gavin, Cactus. Let's have instead the Hardcore Outlaws take on Face, Males, WCW Patriots. I'm gonna stick Cactus over. Let's have a 4v4 maybe of heel teams, because I know I can get Art Bar in this. So Art, Eddie, Wellington, and who stays in WCW? El Texano. Los Cowboys. By the looks of it, he didn't seem to do much in WCW. What about Silver King? Silver King wrestler. So he does have a decent stint in WCW from 97 to 2000. So yeah, we'll stick Silver King in this. Against Faces, Bossman, Trout, Samurai Warrior and Scott Armstrong. Let's stick, I mean, of everyone, probably Eddie Guerrero. Nice, must cut a minute, that's fine. I can cut plenty of minutes. And I wouldn't mind another one. Let's do a 3v3 of Faces. Let's do Dean, Miguel, and is there anyone here that's in? Probably Ivan. Against Heels. Let's do Abdullah, Mr. Hughes, and George South. Yep, 5 minutes. We can stick Dean over. I just don't want all of these teams to be like absolutely unrecognisable. Actually, we can't fit this match on, so it doesn't matter anyway. Nice. Let's make this match work the crowd. And let's have this one, lift the crowd. And let's get this one, a wild brawl. Hopefully that helps get a better card. I think I need to use these a little more, to be honest. We can quickly have this one steal the show. Nice. So let's run Saturday night. So we got WCW Saturday night opening, got 70, which is solid enough. The Steiners defeated Steve Armstrong and Thomas Rich when Scott pinned Steve with the Steinalizer. Very good match, a lot better than I thought it would be. Down with DDP, and the first guest is Paul E. Paul assumes that DDP has a highlight reel of the Dangerous Alliance ready, but Paige throws to a camera of dangerously paying off the hookers that set, I feel so bad saying hookers, that set up Ricky Steamboat and pretend to be his lovers. Steamboat comes out to confront Paul, who hides behind the Dangerous Alliance. Steamboat dies over them, and Sting Squadron comes out to brawl. Garvin and Rose defeated Saint and Mags, when Ron Garvin submitted Joey Mags with a sharpshooter. Sting talked about getting ready to face Vader with a broken rib. Miracle Violence Connection defeated Rip Rogers and Paul Perez when Williams pinned Perez with a backdrop driver. We get a World NWA Tag Team Tournament update with Bischoff and Lance Russell. Simmons defeated Buddy Lee Parker in 116 with a Spinebuster. And it's an update with Eric Bischoff talking about the WCW Blast Report coming June 20th. The Steiners defend against Gordian Williams, Rude and Steamboat in an Iron Man match, and Sting faces Cactus in a Falls Count Anywhere. The Hardcore Outlaws defeated the Patriots. We don't need this too. We can just have this one, I don't know. High spots. Cactus does a promo calling Sting a coward for not putting the title on the line. In a terrible match, Wilkins, Silver King, and La Perra del Terra defeated Bossman, Trout, Warrior, and Armstrong when Eddie submitted Bossman with the Gory Special. Eric meets the Freebirds in a conference room while they're making prank calls to Freebird Enterprises. Then in a sweet main event, great heat and good wrestling, Nikita, Steamboat and Rhodes defeated the Dangerous Alliance of Arn, Bobby and Zbyszko when Nikita pinned Eaton with a Russian sickle after miscommunication from Zbyszko. Arn and Larry get into each other's personal space to end the show. Once again, could really have done with like a 75 if I'm honest, but I'll take a 74. And just before we do Superstars, I'm going to end it here. Thank you very much. I'll be back in the afternoon if anyone is around. So stay safe, look after yourselves. Goodbye for now.